Welcome to Whose Turn Is It Anyway, a podcast about board gaming. I'm Becky, the current first player, but this is my last turn before I pass the first player marker over to my dear husband Kerley. So this will be my final episode. Today I'm joined around the table by JP.
Hello.
Davey.
Hello.
And of course Kerley.
Hello.
Oh, that was an underwhelmed hello.
I'm not feeling well.
I know, it was also upbeat and we got to you. All right.
So yeah, we should really explain why I sound like I'm underwater and Kerley, is not on his top form. So we came back from a holiday to Barcelona, which was really lovely, and I started feeling like I had the lurgy in the airport on the way back. I was very poorly.
Well, it's all in your face and
yeah,
behind your skin.
my throat was a little bit scratchy, and I kind of felt my head was quite heavy.
Yeah.
Then Saturday I felt really bad, and Kerley was just like, "Oh, never mind, darling," and was about his business. I had to go to work on Sunday, which he was absolutely in fits of giggles about, which was not kind. And now he's got the lurgy.
That's karma.
That's karma.
Well, it's not karma, is it? Let's face it. It was just me looking after Becky that has given me the lurgy, so you know.
Laughing at, not looking at.
Looking at
He was kind. He did bring me paracetamol. He was very nice.
You legend.
Is that why you laughed? Did you throw it down and Becky where you laughed at her? Like,
No, I'll tell you, the reason why I laughed at her is not because I'm mean, it's because when she told me she was doing the overtime of anaesthetics, about a month or so ago, I said, "You're really going to regret
You're going to regret that.
Because it's 2 days after we get back from Spain.
Well, I didn't know it was, we were going on holiday at the time, otherwise I wouldn't agree to do
True,
it.
you
that's
surprised
true. You surprised her.
Surprised with a lovely holiday.
So you're laughing on the inside.
I'll wait till I surprise her and then I'm going to laugh at her.
Anyway, so the reason I was laughing at her is because she came home and told me she was doing it, and I told her at the time, "You are really going to regret volunteering for that. 12 hours on a Sunday, you've got to work the week after." And then it got to Friday on our way back, and let's just say she was feeling a little bit regretful about her previous decision.
I had a nice day at work and it was lovely, but my alarm went off at 6 o'clock. I was not pleased about that. Anyway, our episode today is featuring one of the great board games loved by many, Terraforming Mars, published by Fricks Games in 2016, but we'll get to that later on. How are we all? We'll start with Davey.
Start with me. I'm good, thank you. Don't know why I'm being so polite and very courteous.
Who are you and what have you done with Davey?
You're supposed to be the bad boy at ball gaming.
I know, and then, mate, nice thank you. Yes, Miss Patsy. Would you like a cup of tea? I love one. But we recently got back from the 24-hour board game event, and weirdly, I felt really good afterwards. Like, I feel like it reset my body, the system, after staying up those 24 hours. It was strange.
That's not how I felt.
No. But yeah, it was good fun. Played a lot of games. But yeah, other than that, been keeping busy and looking forward to our next game of Darwin's Journey.
Yeah, Wednesday.
JP, how
Same.
are you?
Yeah, same as Davey really. It's the obviously getting back from the marathon, absolutely knackered. Going to work, just thinking I just can't seem to catch up with sleep kind of feeling. Until Friday, then I kind of felt happy again.
It took me that long.
It took me a while. But it was a brilliant event. And oh my God, it is a challenge. I think I underestimated the challenge aspect of it. You think, that's fine, easy, it's playing games 24 hours, whatever. You're like, Jesus.
Well, you had a harder job than the rest of us, in fairness, and you did it magnificently, I have to say. Yeah. But I think your task was a lot harder than the rest of ours.
I just got back and flaked out. And that was it. I could have slept probably through Sunday right till Monday, but I thought probably not.
I think the biggest problem I would have with doing what you did is the fact that you're not playing games that you chose.
Yeah, well, I did choose some of them, but not all of them.
But not all of them, no. So, I think the one thing that kept me going on the 24-hour board game marathon was the fact that I was playing stuff that I really enjoy playing. Yeah.
And stuff that you wanted to play for a long time, never found the time for, and suddenly you've got 24 hours to do it.
Yeah.
But to don't play a game over and over for, it's the same game for 7 hours. Not finishing it. Marcus there falling asleep, but playing a card at the same time. That's when you know, is it?
Fell asleep mid-action, bless him.
Oh God, yeah, it definitely got to that time where it was just like, why are we still doing this?
Kerley, how are you, other than a bit lurgy-fied?
Yeah, tired, grumpy. No,
how was your holiday?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, it was really good.
Nice. But I wouldn't recommend going to a 24-hour board game marathon then flying the next day. That isn't... Because, we arrived home on the Sunday morning
I don't know how you did it.
And then flew on Monday, which was a good time. We had a good time.
Good.
Well, let's jump into our first section. Let's talk about Hex. This is where we talk about the games we've been playing recently. So yeah, we've just mentioned that this is the first episode we've recorded since 24-hour board game marathon. So we've all been playing lots of games recently. So who's going to pick one particularly?
I'll start.
Go on.
Yeah, I'll start. I'm going to pick a game I played at the board game marathon, and it's the game I was dreading all day, to be honest, because it was Scythe. I love Scythe. Scythe's great. Scythe's brilliant. Maybe not brilliant to play at 4 a.m. So when we pulled the schedule together, me and Dan kind of sat through and looked at what games we're going to play, and we thought, yeah, it'd be a great idea to play Scythe about 3:30, 4. And at the time, it doesn't sound like a great idea because you think you're going to have the same energy levels as you do like when you go to any game night. Mm-hmm. And I just remember thinking that I started the stream at 9 a.m. Obviously, yeah, woo, stream, marathon, all that kind of energy.
Super upbeat.
Super buzzed, super excited, and went through the schedule. Like, yeah, we're going to do all this stuff. And then as the morning went on and the afternoon went on, playing games, I was just thinking, oh Christ, I'm going to do this. To the point where we had our live episode, we did that. We played 2 games of Avalon, got absolutely drained, absolutely killed us. I think energy wise.
Yeah.
After that, I was done.
I was on another planet after that.
Yeah, I could have gone to bed. And I was thinking, I don't want to play this game. I just felt like I didn't want to do it. And I even said to you, Kerley, can you just help me set this up because I can't be arsed.
Yeah. I think there was one point I think you were hinting that you wanted to cancel it, to be honest.
No, I wouldn't have cancelled it.
Because it was getting a bit later and you were like, do you really want to play? We're running a bit behind. Do you think we've got time?
Yeah, I think if someone gave me the out, I probably would have took it.
You definitely would have taken it.
But anyway, I motivated myself and all the other players turned up. We had 6 people and actually it was great. It's actually what I needed. I didn't know I needed it, but I needed it because it was a game that was crunchy enough to re-energise my brain and wake me up.
Not too crunchy that you're going to get stuck on it.
Well,
and I know it. I know the game. I know what to do. And the fact that it wasn't a teaching game. Well, one point. But it wasn't a teaching game, and I kind of stipulated that. I said, I'm not teaching it. I just want to play and be quiet and just do my thing. And we did it.
It's been a lot of 1 points lately. It's like calling you 1 point JP.
Yeah.
No, I prefer APJP.
APJP.
That's not even true. Yes, it is. Perseverance.
That's one game.
There's 2 actually. It's episode 1 and 2.
Right. One I was fine with. Two broke my baby.
I think I had the opposite experience with my Flamecraft teach. So I ended up not playing it and just teaching it. But I was so... I don't think I was even human at that point. I'd forgotten what a board game was. I'm really glad I had the foresight to write myself a bit of a script, because if I hadn't, I would have not known what to I would have had to literally read the rulebook out to people, because I was just so... Yeah, get like an out-of-body experience where you're like, what am I doing here? What are these people doing? Why are we moving those little dragons around a thing? Yeah. What does that mean? It was bizarre.
What is life?
What's the point? What's the point of board games?
I'm really glad I wasn't playing, because I don't...
Yeah. But I think we just sat down. Everyone knew it. So we just kind of, chose the factions, and I was Nordics. I was like, didn't want to be Nordics, but I was Nordics. And because we're playing the base map, I know that their starting position is not the best, right?
It's okay if it's not 6-player. When it's 6-player, it's hard. I think I was really lucky when...
I'm sure it's...
Because I feel like they're good in 5 players.
It was 6. Yeah. It was 6 because I wasn't expecting Shell to play.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think I played it when I won with the Nordics the last time we played together, I think.
That doesn't sound right.
And it definitely was. But I thought they were going to be awful. But when you have that room open, they're actually quite good. But when you're like encased in, it seems a lot harder, isn't it?
But I enjoyed playing them. I think what I really liked about it, what reminds me of Scythe, and one of the great things about that game is its flow. Mm-hmm. And there's not
quick,
many,
isn't it?
Yeah, there's not that many games that have that lovely flow about them at a high player count like 6 and even 7, where it just feels like it zips around the table. Mm-hmm. And because you overlap your turns, and when people know what to do, and this is the beauty of it, is that you have your top action and your bottom action. So the top action you do whatever it is, like produce or move, etc. And as soon as you move on to the bottom action, after you announce it, the next player can start. Because generally, unless you've got a factory card, generally doesn't get in the way of other players doing their thing. So when you're overlapping the turn structure, it just kind of flies. There's a nice flow. It just keeps circling around. You're never kind of going, oh, God, come on.
That would have been killer at that time of the morning, wouldn't it?
It is exactly what I needed. And, the time it came around to me is ready, bang, next round. And it was just great. And the great Curlington managed to do his sneaky strategy of hoard all the resources and get loads of workers and move them as a little controlled unit and basically spaff out all the stars at the end of the game, which I did warn everybody that he's going to do.
Did they pay you any heat?
No, they didn't pay the old, oh no, I'm not.
You sound like Mario.
How am I going to win?
I haven't got any stars.
But that's what I was saying. I wasn't necessarily arguing with you. You were saying, I know what he's up to. And I'm saying, look, mate, all I'm telling you is I'm in last. I haven't got any stars.
Yeah, he does that.
Everyone else has got 1, 2,
Cosmic
or even
bullshit.
3. Yes. And I've got 0.
He's not lying at the time.
So why are you picking up?
Just look at the stars track. I don't have any out there. It's like, piss off.
Well, I said to you at the end, I knew it was coming together. I just thought, I'm not going to go, yeah, he's absolutely right. I'm gonna win in a minute. Ha ha ha.
I would have gone for you, but your power was too strong. You were kind of ahead of me on power. I was just behind you, so I was like, nah. But it was good. I actually, as a game, I really enjoyed it. I was like 1 point behind you at the end, so I was quite happy with that. For me, I'm not the best Scythe player, so. But yeah, it wasn't a high scoring game, was it?
No. Well, I had a choice in that last round. Is that I could have got with my last turn popularity.
Yeah.
And something else that was at a spread.
Yeah.
Which would have meant my points were a lot higher, but it was like 5:30 in the morning. I was like, you know what?
Can't bother.
I can't be bothered. So I'm just.
I thank you for the early finish.
Yeah. So I just decided to get my last star, even though I was only in the bottom popularity track. Which, if you don't know Scythe, you don't know what I'm talking about.
No,
but
I have no idea what you're
talking
about.
So
if you don't learn.
Basically, you're well. I'll just go not even briefly, but like with your popularity dictates the multiplier for all of the other things that you get, all the VPs.
Oh, okay.
So if you're on the bottom rung of popularity, then you only get 3 times your number of territories, 2 times your number of I forget
whatever it
what
is,
it all is. But yeah, so if you're in the band higher, then the multipliers are all higher.
Yeah.
So I decided not to go for a stupidly high score and just try and finish it early and hope I had enough. Which thankfully I did just about have enough.
Yeah. But playing it, this made me want to replay the Fenris campaign again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll do that again. I really enjoyed it.
I'd be up for it. The problem
is that a legacy version?
It's not legacy, but it's kind of like it's just
it is kind of
an episodic campaign.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when I say legacy, I always think you're ripping up components
stuff.
which is true. But it's one outcome will affect the next game kind of thing, and it was just such a great game to play at the time. But I am tempted to resurrect it and have another go for it at some point.
Wow.
But anyway, that's Scythe.
I enjoyed it.
4 AM Scythe, baby.
Yeah. There we go.
Davey, what have you been
I
playing?
played Hegemony. It was very good actually. Played it at the expo, but we only got a very brief introduction to it. A demo, yeah. And the guy teaching us did a great job, but he kept helping JP and it was pissing me off. So
He didn't piss me off. No, I loved it.
He was playing the state as well. So, but
I think he liked me. He didn't like you.
No, I don't think he did. No, definitely didn't. It's capitalist.
Who likes the bad boy of gaming?
Yeah, well, that's it. That was it. Playing the evil capitalist. So we played it. I played with Taz, Marcus, and Joel. I think Joel was the middle class. Taz was the state. Marcus was Labour, and I was capitalist. And pretty much
exploit the workers.
Yes, pretty much. But the interactions in that game are really unique. Its theme is, to me, is the most spot on to any board game. Mm-hmm. We all started arguing with each other, depending on who we were as well. And at one point, you had the Labour shouting at the middle class to like, Why are you putting the wages down? Why are you putting the wages down? You want the wages up yourself. You want the wages up yourself. Marcus was going mental, and then we were all like, nah, we'll put the wages down. We all want the wages to go.
It was great to listen to you guys. I could hear you talking about like, well, surely everyone just wants health for everybody, don't they? Surely it's a good thing for all of us. It was just really, it was like watching some kind of,
social economics.
Some kind of like, I don't know, BBC right to reply news thing about politicians or something.
Yeah, and it just had a very nice interaction between us all. You basically, if you don't know what it is, you all have different agendas, and you all score really differently. So it has a really unique scoring method for each kind of class, or each political
faction.
Alignment, or whatever it is.
Political faction, yeah. Say you're a capitalist, what you want to do is be able to build a lot of buildings and get a lot, and pay your workers not very much to get a lot of revenue, which then can go over into your capital, and you score off that capital. But you've also got like a deck of cards that you can do as actions. You can do a lot of other things, like you can put some cubes in a bag, which dictates votes when you then vote for policy agendas, which change kind of, will change obviously the wages, will change the tax bands. It changes like how much healthcare is worth. You end up building these resources, and then you can sell them to each other as well, whoever wants them. So you can try and like drive the market price up, so that you're selling everything for more as well.
Sounds like food chain magnet.
No, it's not as
better than that.
It's not as complex in a lot of aspects. And then the state, they want to basically kind of please everyone.
Yeah.
They want to push everything because they only score to their lowest. So they want to
lowest 2, isn't it?
Lowest 1.
Oh, is it 1?
Yeah, because there's only 3 that you've got there. So I think it's the lowest 1.
I thought it was 2. That's fine.
But it might be lowest 2. Maybe we're playing it wrong. It was like 4 in the morning.
Is that why it took you 7 hours?
7 hours, yeah. It usually only takes 2.5 hours. We didn't even finish it because we were so tired, and we were having fun with it. But I just still really enjoyed it, and I do want to play it again. It's one I actually might get. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, the state wants to please everyone. Labour basically wants to please the people, get good healthcare for everyone, and start populating. Marcus was like, "Oh, immigration's not a bad thing. It means I get loads of people." Started doing immigration, but then he flooded so many people out that he couldn't afford to get his healthcare marker up, can get his prosperity counter up. So it started being like, okay, yeah, I want a little bit of immigration, but not too much.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a nice little balance they had in the game. And then as the middle class, you kind of want to be doing a little bit of what capitalism's doing and a little bit of what Labour's doing. So
it's very well thought through.
It
sounds
is
really well considered and sort of.
It's a clever game.
Yeah. It is a very clever game, and the conversations it forces around the table feel very true in its nature. Me and Marcus were shouting at each other pretty much all game because he's playing Labour, I'm playing capitalism, and we want literally the opposite of everything. So. And then Taz were just slipping in, helping people here and there. You're like, what are you doing? Why are you helping him? So, yeah, it's definitely worth it. Good fun. Just don't play it at 4 in the morning when you don't know the rules. I think most of it was us learning the rules as well. So,
I can't think of anything worse.
Yeah.
Kerley, what have you been playing lately?
Well, I've actually got a decent one to go over this time. So I've been playing Ascendancy, which is I managed to get a game with Paul Grogan from Gaming Rules, doing a kind of pre-Kickstarter game with the designer Matthew Meeple, which is the best name in the world.
Is that his
actual name?
That apparently so. I just double checked it. And
No.
Apparently it's Matthew Meeple. So unless it's a pseudonym or something like that, Matthew Meeple.
You've got to be a designer of games if your name's
Yeah,
Meeple,
exactly.
haven't you?
Maybe that's why he did it.
amazing.
Yeah, so
Parents gave birth to Matthew. Said, "We know your destiny."
Meeple it is.
Meeple by name.
Yeah, so Matthew Meeple, the designer, Paul Grogan from Gaming Rules, and obviously Mike from Ready Steady Play, which is a YouTube channel. Very much recommend it. So we got to play Ascendancy, which is kickstarting on August the 8th for 21 days up until August 29th. And it's they describe it here very briefly, and it's, they know their advertising business, the ultimate 4X fantasy board game experience.
Oh, nice.
So it's
Straight from BGG there.
Yeah. But it's a complex game. But I would say it's more of a worker placement than a 4X. It has 4X elements, but essentially the whole interesting part of the game is all about different types of workers that you have that are all different grades. You can only use you've basically they got different names, but you've got 4 different types of workers, and they can only be used in their phase or below. So you go through 4 phases, and you can use level 1 only in level 1. Alright, you can lose level 2 in level 2 or level 1.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So level 3. So if you want to take 2 actions in the first bit, then it means you're going to dip out later on.
Yeah.
And there are some that give you bonuses if you used your highest tier 1 earlier, and it's a really interesting little puzzle. But at its heart, it's a worker placement with a little bit of engine building, with a little bit of 4X thrown in, with a little bit of I wouldn't say legacy, but like the RPG leveling up type thing. Once you win a game, you actually get a little reward to go into the next game time that you play.
Oh, okay.
So it's a nice mix of a whole bunch of different ideas, which is cool.
That does sound like the ultimate 4X for me, because 4X does not interest me at all, but this kind of might do because it's got these other elements.
What is interesting about it is he's specifically, and this is what I was talking to him about, he specifically designed it not to be competitive or combative if you don't want it to be.
Oh, that's cool.
So it struck me as being something that maybe Becky would be interested in, or Chris P and Rob. They kind of struck me as people who might be interested, because actually you can just opt out of doing PvP.
What, during the game?
No, just at the start you all just decide we're not doing
Oh, okay.
PvP.
So you're setting the mode of the game and saying this is going to be...
So it can be more PvP, i.e. person versus person, in case you didn't know.
I know.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
I thought we were talking about PP.
PP versus PP.
It's always versus PP.
PP versus PP. Yeah, let's go back to Mario for some reason. So.
But yeah, so you can decide to do that before or after, depending on who you're playing with. So I thought that was quite an interesting concept. The whole legacy thing was interesting. The technologies were interesting, which is, you pay a resource and you have to unlock it by building a building, and and you unlock other buildings through doing a little bit of combat against the AI essentially. So yeah, it's got a little bit of everything, which was really interesting. And in addition to that, what really struck home, which was a pet peeve of mine of some of the games that I have liked previously, is that there was loads of variability. So you've got different scenarios. So we were playing a team-based scenario, but you don't know who's on your team, and there's an action you can take to look at someone else's loyalty. A little bit like, I don't know, Battlestar Galactica, something like that. But you can take an action to find out what. But obviously, if you take that action, that's one of 4 that you actually get to take. So it's a big sacrifice to do that. So you end not doing that. You end up working on your engine, right? But then you don't know whose team you're on.
So you want to kind of get an inkling before you check, and then just to confirm it and lock it down.
And you go, I know that we're good. Let's work together and help each other out.
Exactly, but more than that, the game mode we were playing, and there's loads of different game modes, was you add up your VP together. So you don't know who it is, but it was turned out we ended up losing because Mike had like 9 points, I had 8 points, Paul had 4 or 5 points, and the AI had 4 or 5 points as well. So it ended up being, because I was with Paul, we ended up losing because my 8 plus his 4 equal 12, theirs added up to 13. So it's like, and there are several times where you could not only help each other, like there are buildings that you can build that say, when you go here, gain 1 food and give 1 to someone else. So there's lots of things like that. So I helped out Mike a couple of times because I thought he was my ally, but it turns out he wasn't, and it's a really interesting dynamic.
I like that. That's cool.
But in addition to that, you've got a really good solo mode. You've got a really good just free for all mode. You've got a adventure mode, which is essentially going through a whole set series of scenarios. So it was just, I really liked the idea of the different, and there was like boss modes you could do where the mission is different, where you've got to beat up this spinster, I think it was, and
Hey! I don't think I like the sound of that.
This old spinster. Like, no, you lads!
Becky gets offended.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not a spinster.
Yeah, it wasn't calling you a spinster.
But there's nothing wrong with being a spinster.
There is an ascendancy.
If they're an evil spinster,
they
like
might,
taking
just
over
because
the world,
they're a spinster and they've chosen not to get married doesn't mean they're evil. I'm just saying, it's got connotation. It's got connotation.
I'm just
You tell him, Becky. You bloody tell him.
I do like the sound of it, though. I do like the sound of the game.
So we beat the rubbish out of this spinster who deserved it. And so anyway, I thought it was really good. Variability, replayability was all there. It looked really pretty. Obviously, it was on TTS.
Now you're really
TTS, but the artwork was really good, and it looks
vibrant, doesn't it?
It does. So but I would have a little look at it. It's really interesting replayability, and I would say it's one of those games that actually you can make it fit your gaming group perfectly.
Yeah.
Which there's not many games like that. So,
Reminds me of Voidfall in that fact that if you want to play the game co-op, or you want to play the game competitive but not in your face, you can pick the scenarios that fit your group. It's nice. I love that. It's really good.
Yeah, so definitely recommend it. Have a little look.
It will be live on Kickstarter right now.
Exactly. So go and have a little look.
We'll probably put the link in the show notes, so go and have a little clickaroo.
Sounds good to check out.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
I have been playing Dice Forge the other day. In fact, JP, you were there.
I was there.
We all played together. Which is, we talked about it before, but it's just a sort of simple, easy to play. We were going to play Dice Realms, weren't we? And then we decided, that we hadn't researched it enough, so we'll just put that back in the box because we didn't have all night. So yeah, we played cracked out Dice Forge. You're crafting a dice, you're forging it. Look how they decided on the title of the game there. And yeah, you're just all playing and you're rolling your dice. The good thing is you're rolling dice every time it's someone's turn, so it's not just on your turn. So you're not sitting there for ages waiting for someone to, decide whether they're going to buy a new face of the dice or a card.
Yeah.
You do it. I really like that.
It's always exciting, that.
Yeah.
It's like, 1 gold.
Yeah.
Sun shard and a moon shard. Woo.
But yeah, it's a really good game. I think I'm surprised that I haven't dropped all the faces of the dice yet. They come on a very nice kind of piece of... It's sort of like a very thick piece of card, isn't it? And you slide it back in the card like an envelope and they've really thought about that, because if that tipped even a little bit, those pieces are going to go everywhere.
Yeah.
And they haven't so far, because you sit it back in the box, which is another good, really
good
an
elastic, sort of, like a really thick rubber band around
it
it
does.
well.
So they have really thought about it, but I'm surprised that I haven't tipped it over yet.
It's actually a really good insert. It's probably one of the best,
best
inserts for a board game I've ever seen. And
brilliant.
What I really like about Dice Forge is that even the box is a component for the game.
Yeah.
We didn't actually play it as that. I noticed you didn't use the box when we played.
I thought you meant just to rest the pieces in. How well does it a component for
the box itself, and you put the faces of the die, you sit it back in the box, because the things you need are on the edges, on the runs of the edge of the box, or the things that you need to access during the game, and you sit the box, and even the artwork, I'm surprised you've not noticed this, the artwork of the side of the box runs to the board.
Oh, like it does not!
It does. Yeah.
Oh, missed out!
Check it out next time.
As soon as I get home tonight, I am cracking it out and looking.
Even like all the components in that game are pretty well made. Even the dice are nice and like...
They're
Lego chunky dice.
They
do feel like Lego dice, and they all clip in, and they are nice to roll. My only qualm with that game is I feel like I wish there was something you could do a bit more like combo with the dice, or have like better powers with the dice, a bit akin to maybe Kibitos, or
you need the expansion.
Is that what comes with the expansion?
The expansion, the Rebellion expansion, it adds 2 modes that you play either or, where you have a labyrinth, and one of the faces of the dice allows you to move your golem for a maze. So if you roll that, you're choosing paths, and then getting bonuses of which path. Yeah. It's not engine buildery, but it just feels like you're getting more decision space from I've rolled and I've got stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like I've rolled, and now I'm going to have to choose, do I want that or do I want that, because that's now going to give me this, that and the other. So that's quite nice.
But it aims at the lighter weight, so I do understand.
Oh yeah, big time.
I like it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's good.
It's a good game. Plays in an hour.
About. So yeah, that's what I've been playing lately.
Sweet.
On to our main event then, where we're going to delve into the game of Terraforming Mars. Like we said earlier, it's first released in 2016. There's been lots of expansions made, and then the spin-off of Ares Expedition in 2021. It's one of my favourite games of all time. What's everyone's feelings about it?
Yeah, one of my favourites too. Absolutely love Terraforming Mars. Was on the top spot. You know what? I think it probably still is, but I am between that and Anachrony. The reality is I've just played it loads. So,
We can't name a board game we've played more.
No,
definitely
I
not.
can. I still remember the time when we finished one game at about 10 o'clock at night. I went, do another one.
Yeah, we played till like 3 in the morning.
It was a school night as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't even
It wasn't. It was a Friday.
I can't imagine us doing it on a school night.
Because we played till 3 in the morning. I didn't regret a thing because I loved it.
So just a quick overview of the game for those who don't know what it is. I mean, you must have been living under a rock or something. It's a card-based game.
Mars.
So it's a card-based game with sort of a hex map of Mars that you terraform with cities, forests and like oceans, with the aim of getting the best terraforming rating. You do that by increasing the oxygenation, the temperature and the oceans of the red planet. You play as a major corporation in the future, and you each have special abilities, and you build your empire and basically power up by playing cards into your playing area. It's just the best ever. I think it's probably one of the games that we've spent the most money on, I would say, of all the games. If you think about...
I mean, it doesn't come close to Too Many Bones, but yeah, I mean...
Well, I meant our collection. Not obviously. Nothing compares to Nothing compares to you, JP.
Rest in peace, Sinead.
I know, bless her, yeah. So yeah, nothing compares to JP's Too Many Bones. I can't quite say obsession, but I mean obsession. Yeah. But I think it's probably the most expensive game in our collection.
I bought the Kickstarter all in pretty much for like 300. But then we've also...
How much? I was joking.
Behave yourself. Yeah. 500 quid or whatever it was.
And the rest.
And the rest.
But it's got the 3D printed tiles, which now when I see anybody playing without the 3D, because I've never played it with the basic game
it's awful.
Pieces. Yeah. I look at it on the table and I just think, oh.
No,
I don't mean that to sound sanctimonious, but I just think, oh, you don't know what you're missing. Or maybe people do because it's ridiculously expensive. I get it.
And the original components were awful. Like people literally thought they had bought a knockoff. I thought I'd bought a knockoff when I bought it. I was like,
yeah, but that's how you tell if it's a knockoff. Is the components are good.
That's
what the knockoffs are actually better.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But there's so many expansions, isn't there? I think, would I have had as good an experience had I just played with the base game, the base bit, no expansions and no swanky pieces?
Well, for you, because the swanky is important.
It is, but if it's a crap game, it's a crap game, isn't it? But I think...
I mean, I nearly didn't play the game from its look for the very first time. I looked at it, and I'd just gone to, like, board gaming again, and JP, was like, look at this game. Yeah, look at this game, we'll play this. And I looked at it and I went, oh, do I want to play that?
Just try something.
Just look at it. I was like, oh, I was not looking. I was like, I'll do it because I'll play any game once. And I was like, okay, I'm driving there thinking, is this going to be alright? Sat down with it, and my God, I was like, okay, I can see the appeal.
So what is the appeal? What is the appeal?
The appeal is it's got great replayability. Yeah. The card combos in there are really nice and kind of take some of the best aspects of other games and include it in, but then it also has this really cool little area control that link off the cards and sometimes your engine. You've got loads of different avenues. I say loads, there's probably like 2 main avenues really, where you either want to terraform or build your engine to get VPs. I can't have the 2 main routes, but there's lots of different ways of doing
There's variations of those main themes.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. And maybe from the base game now, I think when I play the base game, because we've played it so much, I miss the rest of it. Because there are set combos, and some people like the base game because of that. You can see the combos coming out, and you can play to that, and it takes away the randomness in some aspects. You still get the randomness as a card game. You're always going to get it.
Yeah.
But I do think with the expansions, it has added a bit more replayability. But we played it loads before anyway.
For me, we played it all day when you were teaching me.
Yeah.
Literally all
had to
day.
have a dinner break, didn't we?
Yeah. But I thoroughly enjoyed it the entire day. It was absolutely brilliant. I mean, just the learning it, the kind of seeing, I get how this unfolds, and it's just such a phenomenal game. We don't play with all the expansions. Is it Turmoil we don't play with?
We don't play with Turmoil, and we don't use a lot of Venus next.
And that's another good thing. Is there some fan boards that you've obviously got?
There are amazing fan
and
boards.
I do remember I have left some Venus cards in there still. I know you shouldn't, but there are a couple in there that I leave in there. Because I like them and they're not relevant to the board. So I have left them in there. I remember a couple.
All the official rules in Maze has gone all dirty.
Sorry, mate.
House rules.
Yeah, I think Lunar Metropolis is one of them that stayed in there.
Yeah. Well, and if you're playing like fan-made boards, theoretically they're not official rules anyway. Played the game so much that it's become okay. I think it's got to the point. It's got to the point where we've played it so much. If it was like a first couple of plays and people started doing that, you think, "Ooh, no, you've sullied my game. Don't do that." Sullied my game. Yeah.
I think that is the good variability of it with those maps. It really doesn't. It doesn't mix things up massively and change the game so you wouldn't recognise it, but because it changes the milestones at the bottom,
that's what it changes.
It does make you think slightly differently, and you can't always go, oh well, I like starting off in here. Like if you're playing the original Risk. You're like, right, all my troops in Australia, that's how we win.
Yeah.
You can't do that if you change the maps around.
It's been I wouldn't say more modern games, but different games, and I'm surprised they didn't go for this, have different endgame VP multipliers, right?
Yeah.
And Terraforming Mars has just never really done that, but it does have the set ones. Well, the maps solve that, really, because you do get that variability. And it is a bit different in other ways as well, like the placement bonuses of all the, when you put an ocean down, if you cover up something on the board, it can give you a bonus. So, and all the bonuses are different on the different fan-made maps and stuff.
Yeah.
So there are one of the fan-made maps I've actually got rid of because I didn't like it. It was overly complicated for the sake of overly complicated. The iconography wasn't overly clear. So they are fan-made at the end of the day. It's not, it's not play-tested properly, probably, or all that kind of stuff. But the other ones, I think, are absolutely,
they work. Yeah, definitely. I wonder if they could eventually do a thing with like tiles for the VP scoring as well, where you could have tiles, and obviously some of the tiles you'd have to take out because it wouldn't be on the map or whatever, but you could have tiles that lay over your awards and milestones, which means you could have different scoring on a different map, which would add even more.
Yeah, that's a
I'm surprised you haven't done that already.
No, I'm surprised they haven't done that.
Maybe that could be a future expansion, because they're pretty much done with the expansions, right? But something that small they could probably add in.
Yeah.
What do we think the main draws to the game are? Because it's the game that we've introduced a couple of people to that are gamers to a degree, but it's been the kind of one that we've picked that aren't, say, party games to get a complete sort of new beginner into.
They're not usually Euro gamers, I don't think, but it is a Euro game, but it has enough of a kind of like deck builder or like engine builder, like I know Euro's an engine builder. It has enough of a deck builder feel, even though it's not a deck builder at all, that a lot of people enjoy it a lot more than the normal Euro.
Yeah.
It's not as... It looks... Well, it used to look bland and dry, but it's not as dry as like a Euro can be.
It's got good theming, hasn't it?
I think a lot of what the reason why it's a good one to teach new people, considering the fact that it's quite complex in some ways, actually, is the lack of competitiveness or combativeness. I don't know, what would you call it?
Combativeness.
Yeah, because realistically speaking, you have some interaction with each other, but you're not usually directly beating each other up.
No, I was going to go to that hex.
Yeah, I burned your plants.
Yeah, it's like
that's the
only thing.
Well,
but it's quite rare, isn't it? And
it can be. Yeah, I mean, it will happen probably 2-3 times a game most of the time.
But to everyone.
Not to everyone, no. It'd be like to one person.
Yeah.
Usually the person that's ahead.
Usually the one ahead.
Yeah.
Or just me by default.
But yeah, I like the fact that it's clear. Once you understand the kind of the things of tags, when you understand the concept of tags, that makes total sense, and you understand all of it.
The iconography is very good.
It's perfect. Yes. It's beautifully done, and I think that is a really good kind of... I don't want to call it a gateway game, because it definitely isn't a gateway game, but when you understand the mechanics that are involved in Terraforming Mars, you've got a bit of kind of presence on the board, you've got a bit of you've got a lot of engine building, you've got a bit of finding out which cards go together to make little combos, and the tag kind of system that informs a lot of your knowledge for other games, and I really, really appreciated that. I didn't know I did it at the time because I didn't understand that, but subsequently playing other games, it's like, oh, I understand what they mean by that because I played Terraforming Mars.
Yeah, I think the thing, to kind of answer your question, I think the thing that I think draws people to it, and what I get the most out of the game, and when I kind of teach people it, or I've played with new players and what they say, it's that engine building. It's that fact that you get a card, you pay its cost, you play it, you get things. And it's like that instant reward of bang, 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 bang. You see your kind of empire grow over time and generation.
And a lot of those cards, it's not like a one and done. Even cards where, because of these tags, and a lot more games use this now, because of these tags, usually you're getting benefits still later on because of these cards. So
they're unlocking further things.
Yeah, and I think it is that card's not now done, you don't have to think about it. A lot of the times you are thinking about it, and it's playing into the rest of your game, which has a kind of real nice permanence to it.
Yeah.
And by the end of the game,
building as well, you know, sometimes you play a card just for its
just for tag.
Yeah. So
but at the end of the game, you go, look what I've built.
It's really satisfying, isn't it?
Even if you don't win.
Yeah.
Which
And I suppose
marker of a good game, isn't it?
Yeah.
going back to the gateway thing, I suppose it actually kind of is, but more for medium-heavy games.
I was going to say the same.
Yeah, if you're not a medium, like heavy, because it is a medium/heavy, really, isn't it? It kind of sits in between.
It's lower heavy in my opinion.
Yeah, probably. But it is kind of a gateway into that next step up because hasn't got too many complicated mechanics to learn. It's all on the cards. So the mechanics, you learn how to play the game, and then you play the cards, and then you're learning kind of the game as it's going along. So it kind of propels itself.
The actions are simple though, aren't they? Like they're not like, oh, I do one action, and then I've got a combo about 17 things off it. It's like, oh, I do this, I pay it, and it's played.
Yeah.
Then it's just learning, like all games, the iconography of what it is. And I think that's just one of the great things about the game, is in the cards, it'll have the icons that tell you what it's doing, and it'll also have it written in text.
Yeah.
Everything's like really accessible. So if you don't know what that icon means or that, you just read it.
Yeah.
It tells
and
you
then
what
you
to
do
do.
understand it, and it makes more sense.
And then
it?
the icons make sense because it's like the rules are on the card, and it's just clever.
Do we know what weight it is on BGG?
Oh,
do we know what weight?
I'd say 3.8.
3.6.
I'd go. Oh, I was going to say 3.9.
3.6.
3.26.
Oh, there you go. So it is more of a medium.
I'd say it's more medium personally.
Yeah. I wonder what Arc Nova is comparative.
I've just literally just looked that
3.5?
up. 3.73.
So that's
See, I'd have put Terraforming Mars above Arc Nova myself.
But is that with the expansions or is that just base?
Exactly my next question.
Because
base
Terraforming Mars, it is.
It
is.
Yeah, start adding, like, put Turmoil in there, add colonies, add Prelude, add this.
Well,
we probably should talk about Turmoil in a separate way, though, really.
Don't bother.
I like Turmoil. I want to play Turmoil again.
Yeah.
We haven't played that enough. It's a very different game.
That's all right, you guys go ahead.
I don't know why you really don't enjoy it.
Weird?
I'm not weird.
Why have you got an opinion on this?
It's quite polarising. Some people really didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, but the thing is, for me, I find it really satisfying building up the engine and going. And all that game does really is punish your engine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well,
I know why you don't like it.
Yeah.
That just takes away from the thing I find most enjoyable. I wouldn't say I did enjoy the whole voting thing and, like, you know, putting your candidates in and getting the resolutions you want. That was all cool, but don't screw my engine, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I've spent
It's
hours
the fact
making it better.
you lose a TR rating every generation.
And you start on what, 14? Rather than 20, so you're instantly, you've taken.
That's kind of a challenge because it is Turmoil and you are fighting to try and get everything back in order, and it's meant to be that challenge, and
it's
that's
not
why
something
I
I
enjoy
play
it every time.
I wouldn't play it all the time, but I do like. I fancy throwing it in because I like the events. I like these things are coming. You got to prepare. And you just twist the game up a little bit. It just makes it
like
fresh.
a different game in a lot of
If someone
aspects.
else threw it in and I was free, I would probably do it. But it's never going to be one that I put up myself. Put it that way.
What do we
I'll have
think?
to do it then.
What do we think the best expansion is?
Prelude.
I think
Colonies,
Preludes.
No,
I think
Prelude.
Prelude for
100%
me.
Colonies for me.
No, Prelude.
I like Prelude, but for the exact same reason that I don't like Turmoil. Because it helps your engine, makes everything lovely. And
Well, it just gives me a bit of direction, and I feel like I need that in Terraforming
Shortens
Mars
the game
because
as
I
well.
get very kind of, I'll just go down the microbes track again because I like a little bit of microbes.
I think Prelude's the most important expansion for that game,
I agree.
in my opinion.
I don't use
The
colonies
first one
enough.
they added in online as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. Because then it's the most well regarded, the one that everyone will recommend. I love Colonies, don't get me wrong. I like playing with it. But I think Prelude, as you said, Becky, sets you up.
Yeah.
And I love that decision at the beginning. You got your Corp, you got your 10 project cards, you've got your Prelude cards.
And you've
like,
got
how am I going to
combo.
make this work?
Yeah.
I guess
I love that.
I guess that is exactly the reason why I'm not saying I love it. Right? I wouldn't do without it. But the whole reason why I prefer Colonies is it's the whole game. Whereas Prelude, you don't.
Yeah.
That's
But it kind of sets your engine up at the start
is
sometimes.
kind of- it's for me, and let's face it as well. The only problem, in my opinion, the game has is the lack of usefulness of energy in general, and it fixes that.
Oh,
totally.
it's got a bigger problem than that, but we'll come back to that, I'm sure.
No, we won't. We won't.
Oh, we need to talk about it right now. Clearly, go on. What is its problem?
You're not allowed to diss Terraforming
We've
Mars.
said lots of nice things about it. Go
I
on,
like
JP.
Terraforming
Go on,
Mars.
JP. What's your problem with it?
It's not with that game specifically, but it's the fact that it's a lemon, make the best lemonade out of the lemons that you have kind of game. So it goes into the fact that, and as you add more expansions in, that project deck is how many cards are in that project deck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A million?
A million.
Right.
We
So-
sleeved them all. I don't know. I should have counted, but we needed.
So
them
you
not
can,
to
you
sleeve.
can have
300.
you
I
can
think
have
300 and
games.
something, 68.
You can have games where it doesn't matter what you do, you've got shit.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't matter what
No
you've done.
chance sometimes.
And I know you can draft, and we draft a lot.
Yeah.
Because for that reason, you have some control of what's
Yeah.
coming around. But, when you're playing with expert players, they're never going to give you the cards that
No.
you're ever going to need.
Yeah, but they've got to give you something.
Yeah, true. But sometimes you can have luck of the draw with the games, you just get shit.
Mhm.
And there's nothing you can do about it. And
If you
you've
have
got
a
to play
really
with the
bad
lemons that you
start,
have.
Yeah.
as well. A bad start can sometimes, and there have been from Prelude actually. There have been like combos, and we said they were busted at the start, but then they've been screwed. Like Jay, that when he had that insane combo at the start, and we were like, never seen anything like this.
Was
This
this the
is-
livestock cows one?
It was like Space Cows, but I think it ended up
Space
being
Cows.
better.
Yeah.
And he got to play a load of the stuff, and we're like, how the hell are we going to catch up? And then the rest of the game, he pretty much never got a card that kind of worked of his
So
engine.
when you're like learning the game and that, you don't really care because you're like, I'm building an engine. It's fine.
Yeah.
But when we play, because I don't know how many times we played it, and I think Terraforming Mars for us is quite an important game as a gaming group because it's probably one that the majority of us
Everybody
like.
likes. Yeah.
We all play it. Would play it any day. Happy to play it. Even
Adrian
now.
doesn't like it.
He doesn't like it. To be fair,
Well,
he likes,
the grumpy gamer.
I can't imagine Adrian
but he
not
loves
liking it.
Ares Expedition.
I was just about
Yeah.
to come on to Ares
But-
Expedition.
But
yeah.
Love
yeah,
you,
I think,
Adrian.
Yeah, we love you. We love you, mate. But yeah, I think as someone who's played that game a lot, and you want to try and be a bit competitive in the game, and you get dealt a hand of crap, and there's nothing that you can do, and continuously get dealt a hand of crap or get drafted a hand of crap, it can feel the best.
crap.
Yeah.
And
And that's the way it is.
I'm guessing Adrian may have had a game like that, and then that's going to feel bad.
It would be enough to put you off, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But I think
That's my negative. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's a bad game.
Well, it's got randomness involved in it, and that is the possibility. But most of the times I've found, even when I've lost, and it's only been a couple. And I think one of the times I've won and not enjoyed the game because it was a real terraforming kind of game that I had, and I was like, play that,
I just want to
get a load of TR, play that, get a load of TR, and it kind of was a bit. It was fine. It was just very like kind of one. Yeah, well, yeah. Whereas you can have games like that, and then you don't win, and that probably feel even worse. Where you just been like, I've just been playing like the same type of card all game, and that's the polarizing. But I'd say the majority of games,
Oh, God, yeah.
I've been happy building my engine,
Me too.
doing cool things, and then being like, well, I've not won, but it's been a fun game.
Again, I can call out one game where I just didn't enjoy it at all.
I remember that one. You're
Yeah.
sitting there, you were going, oh, I'm not enjoying this.
That doesn't sound like JP either.
Sounds like Davey.
I don't know. I'm not sure you can say that after the latest Twilight Imperium episode.
Yeah, shut it.
We've each had one.
Yeah.
We were talking about
We'll
this.
have one and that's it.
Yeah, Twilight Imperium meltdowns, one each.
Yeah.
what do we think Ares Expedition adds to the party?
Nothing.
There are some
Nothing.
people that say nothing.
Nothing.
There are some people that just don't like it.
No.
I don't not like it. I just rather play TM.
Is it?
And see, for me, it's the time. The time it plays. It's much more casual because you're all playing together, simultaneous turns. I like the mechanic of everyone choosing one of the actions each round. I find that really
is clever.
interesting.
That is good.
And
The artwork's better.
it does
That is true.
exactly. Yeah, it's true. It does exactly what it says on the tin, which is TM light.
Yep.
So if you haven't got, because let's face it, we always dress up TM like it's a 3-hour game. It ain't.
Easy to play free play.
With 4 or 5 players, it's a 4+ hour game.
It is, yeah.
Realistically.
Yep.
And what Ares does is it shortens that down to 2 max.
I don't know. I think actually, if we play TM with 3 or 4 of us that have played the game a lot, we have got it done in about
We can
3
do it.
hours.
You've got to
We have
marshal
done.
it though, and you've got to be on it.
It's not even marshalling it. It's just a lot of the time when you play with a bigger player group, a lot of times we've had like players who haven't played much or...
Or me, basically. You can say it. It's
No,
fine.
no, it's not you.
Yes, and Becky.
It's genuinely, I'm not having to go at Becky in this, but like there are quite a few of us who get that AP, and if you have 1 or 2 you like that, then APJP can really hold everything up.
It's
I'm
as
joking.
bad as me.
I'm joking. I get like that sometimes. It's just a matter of. I personally disagree. I don't think we've ever done a game in 3 hours unless it's a 3-player.
Do you think
4-player
it's
plus
because
it's a bit longer.
we've played it so much now, we know it so well, we're really trying to kind of get that perfect thing?
Well, I think that's the case, but also, even if you are experienced, there are some of the viable tactics to win take a long time to take in your turn. I remember Jay, who, bless him, it wasn't his fault, but like his engine was so good that he was like, on his turn, he was like, right, gain 3 cards, colonise that bit, gain this bit, gain that bit, do this, and it worked out. Although your actions are limited every turn, it would just go on and on and on and on. And that's just the engine he built, you know. And some engines go, right, that'll give you 10 titanium. There you go, 10 titanium. There's your really good engine you could spend on cards, easy. But other ones are like, draw this, do that, gain the micro on that,
and then you do all of this, and then all you really got was one card. I've had a card engine, a card draw engine like that, where you're discarding, drawing cards, and it's like, I did all right. I only got one card.
So yeah,
but I had fun doing it.
I do think it's one of those games that can go that way, and I don't really remember one that we've done that quickly. But I might be wrong.
It's been a while, but I think we have. Maybe 3.5 hours.
I think when we were playing it a lot.
Yeah.
There was a time when we were playing it probably once a week.
We did it on a school night, and we probably wouldn't have done 4-hour games on school nights. Because I wouldn't, personally.
Yeah.
Because I get tired.
Who do we think it's aimed at? Who do we think its kind of core demographic is?
Mars enthusiasts.
Children.
I'm joking.
Well, see, because that's the thing, isn't it? It could really put people off. Me particularly.
Yeah, because you don't like spacey stuff,
well,
do you?
I do in actual... I'm saying doing real life, like Star Trek. What? I do actually... Yeah,
that's real.
Yeah.
That's
it's
a documentary.
Like 100% what it is now. We've got Alexa. That is Star Trek. It is. In real life stuff, I'm very interested in space things. But as a genre, so for example, books, I love fantasy, can't stand sci-fi, not interested. Talking about light speeds and warping, not even bothered, shut up, rather do something else. So I think, it could put people off. I'd be really sad to think that somebody didn't play it just because they didn't like space stuff.
See, for me, I like sci-fi stuff, so I was quite kind of attracted to playing it because of that. So I was like, ooh, I like Mars, I like space, and I heard it's good. And there you go. That's enough for me.
But then that's why it's really important, I think, as a board gamer to be open to trying different things. Like, I didn't want to try Wingspan.
Yeah.
Because the theme was just like, whatever.
Do you want to be a bird enthusiast?
Not really. No, thanks.
No, I don't.
And then I played it, I was like, oh yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
You know?
So that sounded almost sexual.
Look at birds. Oh yeah, birds.
I love birds.
Yeah.
But the point is, anyway, that you should try everything at least once.
Yeah, and for me, theme just doesn't come into it anymore. I played so many board games where the theme has just been absolute bullshit that it just doesn't matter to me a lot of the times now. Like, if the theme's good, fucking great, that's going to add to it. But if the theme's shit but the game's really good, it doesn't matter to me anymore. No. I'm just moving cubes about, but having a good time doing it. So
I would say a good board game with a good theme is always going to win out over a good board game with a bad theme.
Yeah, exactly.
It does matter, but I don't think it can take away.
It won't put me off a game.
Yes, you could play Terraforming Mars, but we'll call it Terraforming Turnips, right? where basically it's a farm and you're playing cards, and it's the same thing.
Yeah,
but
it'll
still be fun.
Yeah,
it'll still be good. And you're putting
Yeah.
little fields on rather than forests.
You've been playing so many Yuris.
I know,
that you now just farm your farm.
You watch it 12 months time, there'll be a Kickstarter. Terraforming Turnips.
Terraforming Turnips.
How many manure tags have you got? Brilliant. It'd work though, wouldn't it?
Where do we think it sits on BGG currently?
The ranking?
Yeah.
Well, it's dropped a bit, I would say, now by now.
So Kerley's going for 5.
No, I'm going to go. I'm say it's dropped to 6 or 7.
Drum roll, please. I just looked, but I've forgotten already. It is number 6 currently, and I think it's.
But it doesn't count because you guessed twice.
Why?
Did you have 2 numbers?
6 or 7.
Oh, I meant 4 or 6.
Yeah, I meant 5 or 6. Yeah.
And I think that's just testament to its impressive
I remember it
game.
dropped though. I remember looking and thinking, "Oh yeah, it has dropped." But
it wasn't even top
time.
for very long at all because it was Gloomhaven overtook it almost immediately.
But yeah, but it will probably remain in the top 10.
People love to hate Terraforming Mars.
What's wrong with them?
They do love to hate Terraforming Mars.
Yeah, there are some people. It is a little bit,
I think it's because it was quite a dry theme, let's face it. I know we're saying it's a good theme, but when you look at the artwork of the cards and the initial board game, as we were saying, the components are crap. The artwork's not the best on the cards.
It's all like photos.
It's funny because
but they do fit in now. We've played it a lot. You see it, you know the cards. It becomes like nostalgic.
As kind of pernickety about aesthetics of games, I've never thought that those pictures are crap. It's never occurred to me.
No, they've never bothered me. But they kind of... I can't... What do they remind me of? They remind me of like going on to Microsoft, going to like Microsoft PowerPoint and going into the let's drag some stock photos. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. And it's like, generic scientist looking at a beaker.
Yeah,
that'll do.
Yeah,
next.
And that's what it's
worms. Next.
And then it had such a big following. I think also people thought, what's that kind of...
It's sometimes popular, therefore it must be bad.
Sometimes when something gets so popular, it instantly creates... But then some people just don't like the game because it's not their game. And that's fair enough.
Yeah, or it goes on too long for what it's doing.
No, I think that's not fair enough.
Well,
it will always have a soft spot in my heart because of the fact that I felt like a proper board gamer when I played that.
Yeah.
That was one of the first games that I thought, this is a real one now. This is not a board game light.
Yeah.
It's got crunchy mechanics that I understand the names of now, and I understand what you're talking about when you say games have got mechanics. I used to think, well, it's not got gears. What are you talking about, Sharp? But I understand the premise of it, and I can describe it, and I can understand what people are doing.
But these are the building blocks upon so many other games now, and people build upon other mechanics, and they slot them in, and then you get a whole different hybrid of a board game.
Exactly. And
then you learn that board game quicker because you know the mechanics.
And that's exactly why I like it, I think. It has done that for me, you know. Yeah, I think the fact that it's got those commonalities with other games, or like Davey just said, other games have kind of copied things, tags. I mean, I don't know who came up with that first, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you understand tags, therefore you understand loads of other games, and that's really helpful. Really helpful.
It was the first game I saw tags in, but it probably...
I don't know.
It's probably used in a different way in a game before.
Maybe.
And, you know, it's one of these things about original ideas. Is there such a thing as an original idea?
Yeah, that's it.
But they've implemented it in a really... well thought out fashion that was original, so you know, kudos to them.
It feels like it's the first one. It exactly. Probably wasn't.
And we touched on the fact that the iconography is so good because it's so clear and the user interface is so obvious. I think once you get your head around it, that when you understand a couple of the bits, you then instantly understand lots of other bits because that's the same as that, so it must mean this, and it does, and it works really cleverly. I think
this is a testament to the game because I played it not long back with my brother. And I played his copy. So this was base Terraforming Mars, nothing else, right? So we got the player mat out, and I went, oh God, I forgot there's no like dual layered boards here. It just took me right back to like 6 years ago when we're playing, and you sneeze and all your cubes go everywhere. And without prelude, so it was like, oh God, it just felt so slow just to get back into it. So it makes you really appreciate kind of where the game is now to where it was.
The evolution of what's happened.
Oh God, yeah. It's like they've realised that, we probably should have stepped this up, and they started adding these extra components as the Kickstarters with expansions came out. And what we've got now as a package, like I said, it's still not the best component game out there, but at least it's leveled up.
It's good. It definitely is up there with a bit more of a prestigious kind of component level, especially with those little towers that you put in and the 3D aspect, and when you put that all on the board, it's very good to look at now.
Any more to say about Terraforming Mars?
Just play it.
Play it. If you haven't played it, totally play it. And why did we record this episode? We should have just played Terraforming Mars.
Just watch.
Well, I thought we would be on trend, you know. What was it, 2023 when the game came out?
2016.
2016. Yeah, that's it. Good timing.
I guess we need to mention the fact that the DICE version is coming out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. DICE version has been kickstarted.
I'm looking forward to Prelude 2.
Prelude 2.
Is that coming out?
That was coming.
Oh, nice.
I just remembered.
Oh, so there is more expansion, so maybe they will do the VP.
There's another one that's coming as well. You'll probably be less interested in this one, but this is the Mars bot, the solo bot. For solo players. But great for solo players. Cause,
the solo mode was quite good anyway, really. No?
I didn't enjoy it.
No?
It's kind of like...
It's hard.
It's a race.
Yeah,
and you've got to figure it out, but... you're not really playing an opponent. You're just playing random bullshit in your hand, and you've got to try and make the best of it.
That's true.
Whereas the solo mode, which is adapted from Marsbot, I think, which I think David Turtsey did.
Okay.
Might be wrong, but I think he did. Or he's got heavy involvement in. Now they're releasing it as an expansion package, no doubt with more cards and bits and bobs.
Won't bother with it, but...
No, but good for those solo players.
Prelude 2, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'll probably pick that.
Terraforming Mars again.
I'll probably pick that one up.
Lots of things on the horizon of the planet then. Cool. So, moving on to our Would You Rather, which ties in really well with what you guys have been talking about. So, would you rather play a game you love, such as Terraforming Mars, but a knockoff version where all the bits are dodgy, the cards are like misspelt and off-centre, and the board is like really shonky and...
Tambo's version TM.
And crap. So would you rather play a game that you love like that, or play a very intricately made, incredibly beautiful, like the pieces are absolute sterling quality, but it's only an okay game?
That's
But
easy.
it's an okay game. The game's all right.
Shonky copy of a game. Every day
definitely.
You think?
100%.
100%.
100%.
It's an easy one.
JP's looking.
I've done it before.
I mean, how shonky are we talking?
Awful.
It's awful.
Awful.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose
Is it of a game
unplayable?
Right, let's
Okay,
rewind.
it's Terraforming Mars. Okay, I'm gonna make it small.
Yeah.
It's Terraforming Mars. It's the base
It's Terraforming
game.
Turnips.
Terraforming Turnips. Yeah. No dual layer boards.
No.
The pieces are those plastic ones that they came with. Really awful, like gold, silver,
It's
and
written in
bronze.
Russian on there.
You've got misspelt, badly translated text, and some of it is hanging off the edge of the card because you've got that white
like
border around the
misprinted.
card. Yes, misprinted.
Oh.
The pictures are even worse than they already are. And the
Stickman.
board,
Oh,
the board,
Stickman scientist with a beaker.
it
Yeah.
looks like it looks worse than the cards you'd made for the Christmas edition that
Those
we
are
did.
good.
They were brilliant. Yeah, they were brilliant.
They were brilliant.
But if you imagine
Yeah.
someone else,
If those were actually drawn, it would be funny.
yes. But
Instead, it's actually selfies of the person who's knocked it off. With them there with a beaker, like.
and your board is really bad. Like maybe one of the ink colours is worn out halfway. It's awful. It's
Yeah.
the worst possible copy you could imagine of this
I
game.
stand by what I said.
But still, mechanically,
You can still
the same
play
game.
it because you know how to play it. Because you know what the cards are meant to say.
to me, just because I know how to play Terraforming Mars, if that copy was that bad, where I couldn't decipher the cards
I
properly.
mean, you can read it. You know what it says, sort of. But
You end up
it's...
googling the cards a lot.
Yeah,
wouldn't
that I'm out. If I'm doing that, I'm not.
Or
I'm
you're
not playing
playing-
Or you're playing Lords of Waterdeep.
I'll play the knockoff.
Or you play... Okay, so
You said what? An okay game with intricate artwork? Did you say? What was it? Intricate.
Well, intricately made, incredibly
made-
beautiful.
Yep.
That's not Lords
With
of
our Etsy
Waterdeep.
components, mate.
With our Etsy-
Your Etsy components are great, but that's the best thing about that
Cerebria.
game.
That's more of a good game, but
Yeah,
that's a really pretty
as in
game.
it is very pretty.
And it's a good game,
Yeah.
So what
but
you're
it's
going to
not
play?
one of our favourites.
What you're going to play, JP? So Cerebria, that's okay. Beautiful pieces, or
It's good. It's good.
shonky knockoff Terraforming Turnips.
Terraforming Turnips. I quite like Terra because I came up with Terraforming
Do it,
Turnips.
mate. Do
That's
it.
what you're playing.
Yeah.
I'll
Terraforming
buy it for the
Turnips.
Kickstarter, mate.
Which one are you picking then, JP?
Terraforming Turnips.
Davey?
Play this and get 10 fertilizer.
Get a pack of seeds.
Get a pack of seeds.
What are you playing? Are you playing the
I'm playing the chunky knockoff. I think it'd be fun. I know how to play the game, and it'd be quite funny going, oh yeah, this is normally like this card, but now it's this dude doing something.
Yeah.
Well,
Kerley?
now it's this.
You
Easy
playing the
T-
shonky?
TM, yeah.
It's easy for you. I was really kind of having difficulty deciding what I would do, but I think I'm going to join you all and play the shonky knockoff.
Hey, chunky
Chunky
knockoff.
Yeah, and you know how important it is to me to have a nice looking
I
game
think
and a.
If the game's there, like
That's
you
it.
could play Terraforming Mars, and everything just be text on white cards and a hex board,
Badly written.
and it wouldn't matter. Like you could be handwritten
like a
cards.
I know what most of the
Concept
cards are.
design.
Yeah.
Tell you costs
Yeah.
and everything, so you know.
Like Martian
no
Wales,
problem.
I'm having that.
Yeah.
Because I already know what it does.
Well, Kerley always gets it anyway, so good luck.
Yeah.
So substance wins over aesthetics. Then we've decided. That's
think
it.
so,
Yeah.
Categorically
I think
decided.
that goes with what kind of said before.
We,
as
we
well.
play Terraforming Mars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the original.
Hey now.
But They say timing is everything, JP.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That so pretty much rounds that up then, doesn't it? I think. Coming up now to our penultimate turn. This is where we talk about what we've got coming up and what we're excited about. So, Kerley.
Well, I was torn between a couple. Honourable mention to Darwin's Journey, which I'm looking forward to on Wednesday, but I'm going to go ahead and say I've got my birthday all-day gaming event, which thankfully JP can't make.
I can't make it. He's purposely arranged it, that's why I can't go.
So he purposely decided when his mum and dad were going to make him.
Yeah.
41 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got that next weekend, which really looking forward to.
Happy birthday, mate.
Because 8 or 9 of my real friends are going to come round and see me.
I look forward to giving you your present. I wonder if you're going to like it or not. We'll see.
I'll always like it.
Is that you beating him at Terraforming Mars?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, you little scamp.
Looking forward to that. We haven't even decided on games because I wanted to know the numbers. So looks like
I think we should buy and play
people.
Too Many Bones, shouldn't we? I think that.
Yeah,
might be
Too Many
really...
Bones all day long. All day long.
Where are you getting a copy, mate?
I've got a copy, mate.
Have you?
Yeah.
We just play it when you're not around.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just talk about it all the time, and we're like, here he goes again.
So,
I do want to play that again, though. Actually, we need to schedule that in.
You can talk about it.
Request it.
We can play our copy, dear.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to playing Pagan Roanoke. It's a game that me and Marcus played at the 24 hour. I've been messaging him and we've been trying to sort that out, so we will be getting it to the table at some point.
What is it?
So it's like a 2-player card game, but it's kind of like it's kind of a bit of a detective game because one of you plays a witch and the other plays like the witch finder, the witch hunter. And like my deck's all about, so I'm going to play the witch hunter, which I was. My deck's all about getting these clues, and there's a load of villagers in the front, and getting clues to find out who the witch wants to try and create a ritual around.
Right.
And then you have like loads of abilities that like I put clues down and I can draw a card and it'll tell me who one of these people it's not. So it's kind of like a Guess Who, but a lot more advanced.
Egghead Bill, it's always Egghead Bill.
Yeah,
it's always
but a lot more advanced.
Does he have?
It's Maria.
But then you get these cool little card combos in your own deck, and apparently there's lots of different actual like abilities you can put in there.
Cool.
And like followers, you have these followers, and you have the halls that give you permanent stats. And like if I go somewhere and do the action, because all the villagers have an action on the card, I do the action and I can then put out my tokens. When I gain enough, I get a clue. But that means Marcus then can't go there on his turn. And then he puts his down, comes back to me, I can't go on his ones. So it's got this real interesting flow of what actions come down, what you're stopping. I'm looking at where Marcus is going a lot because he's going here and he's putting loads of tokens on the red villagers. I'm thinking, he's wanting to start a ritual over here. Maybe I just kill one of these villagers over here so he can't do it, and that might win me the game. I can kill, I think, 3, and then if I kill the 3rd and it's still not them, then the witch wins as well. So it's got that nice cat and mouse kind of aspect to it. It's a really fun 2-player. Cool. So I'm looking forward to playing that. And then he also said that he's getting Terra Mystica Innovation.
Age of Innovation.
Which looks very good. So I'm looking forward to playing that as well.
It's like the new version, but it's supposed to be...
It's basically like the in-between of Gaia Project and Terra Mystica.
Yeah.
But they've like smooth lined a load of the Terra Mystica rules and kind of made the powers a lot better apparently. So
I'd be interested to play, but I thought Gaia Project was several.
But it looks better as well. I think this is one of the
that never really bothered me.
It wasn't.
The asymmetric powers of the civilizations in Terra Mystica were just so stupid and it was just some of them were so amazing and some of them were so pants. Yeah. It just frustrated me.
Yeah, which is what but this is what they've meant to have smoothed down. It's meant to be the in-between where it's still got all the theme of Terra Mystica, because a lot of people didn't like the theme of Gaia Project, but it's got some new added stuff as well as being having the better tracks like Gaia Project, etc.
Has he got it?
No, it's coming out. He said hopefully he'll have it by the 20th. So
okay.
We'll hope. Well, by the time this comes out, we probably will have
might be playing it.
Yeah.
You'll have to give us your verdict, mate.
I will do.
JP, what have you got coming up?
I got Voidfall. My actual copy of Voidfall is en route. So I've had my address confirmation email, which anyone who's ever backed anything knows that's an exciting time.
Absolutely.
Because that usually means dispatch email's not far. I already know it's in the country. I already know it's docked, and it's at Spiral Galaxy. So
where's Spiral Galaxy?
Spiral Galaxy,
the distributor.
Yeah,
I see.
They distribute
just south of Essex.
All the
It's near.
Kickstarters, pretty much.
I think where it is. I've forgotten. I'll
It's
probably
the other side of London, isn't it?
Yeah, somewhere.
I thought it was in the southeast, but
Yeah,
So it might be
exactly.
just the side of Essex, and that was spurious nonsense.
I can't remember, but yeah, no, my copy of Voidfall is hopefully going to arrive very soon. I'm really, really excited to get that. So yeah, it's all about the Mindclash, baby. And
Nice.
I know I've talked about it on a previous episode and my experiences of it, and I'm getting to play it again next week.
Nice.
Yeah.
4th play already. I haven't got the game. Doing all right, aren't I?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my acceleration to kind of learning a game is slower than you guys, so I'm just trying to get a little head start. That's all it is. So that when I sit
just
down
so
with
you
you,
can beat us, basically.
yeah, just a few,
Yeah.
and then
I might let you have one.
one, all right,
Yeah, one.
at least
That
one.
Yeah.
You probably do it in the first game. And then when near the end of it, you played this so many times, JP.
So who are you playing this with, JP?
Who?
Yeah.
Mr. Grogan.
Oh, Mr. Grogan, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, looking forward to that, and bring it on. I think we've got Septima not long behind as well.
I'm really
Ooh,
interested.
Yeah, I'm interested in that as well.
I've just written
Well,
down
and Voidfall,
when
to be
is
fair.
Septima coming out. Had you read my little thing?
No.
Look,
I just
oh,
thought about Mindclash
Yeah,
and
that's
actually
what-
got an email about it today, but they're still packaging it over in China.
It's when Davey was talking about the witches. I thought,
Yeah.
that's Septima game. That's out soon,
I
isn't
enjoyed
it?
Septima.
So a month or two, you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon 6-8 weeks probably.
Ooh, Halloween game.
Yeah.
Get
Actually,
in.
that might be on purpose from them. You never know.
I don't know if it's on purpose. Like any Kickstarter. Just
Yeah, it's
get
true.
it out as
Just
quickly
get it
as
out.
possible.
Yeah.
But no, looking forward to Septima as well. The card playing that's just fantastic.
It does look really good.
It's just cool. It's just done really well, and the fact that you kind of weirdly you're kind of announcing what you're trying to do on your action, but are you? Because you're like, yeah, if we both do it, we get both actions on the card. But then you raise suspicion, and the witch hunters come and give you a kick.
I like the idea of a medium to heavy weight.
But it's not.
Mindclash.
Yeah, it's not super. It's not like Anachronie. It's not like Voidfall. It's not like Tricarion in that heaviness.
But it's not
But
like
it's
Astra.
No, it's midweight. It's got enough going on,
Yeah.
but it's quite cool. And I think it played fairly quick. It was a learning game, teaching game, but I'd imagine it's a couple of hours. But yeah, looking forward to both of those. Mindclash Bonanza.
I'm looking forward to playing Potion Explosion, which I bought from Logan at the 24-hour marathon. I've been looking at that for quite a little while, and he's already told me that it can be quite clattery and noisy. So in my brain, I haven't even opened the box yet, and I'm already thinking of I'm going to get a felt, and I can make the liner. And so
That's
yeah,
so you.
I haven't even seen the components yet, but I'm already kind of thinking about what methods I could use to improve that,
To
customise
board
jazzle it. Yeah.
You know what I do when I get games? I think I know what soundtrack I'm going to make on that.
Oh, is that your thing?
That's my thing. That is
Nice.
my thing.
Nice.
I
I
think-
like that.
That will go really well with that game. I haven't even got it out of the box yet.
But I do have a few Spotify playlists that are particular board game titles.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to make a Potion Explosion one then.
Yeah, I like to think, what drink am I going to spill over this game now?
And set fire to it. What is Potion Explosion?
It's got marbles in it.
Yeah, I thought it had. It reminded me of Gollum.
It's got
but
marbles
not.
in it.
And Gizmos. That's a marbly game as well. You don't know, do you?
No.
No.
When I looked it
the
up,
title took you away.
I wrote it. I remember writing it on my list of games that I seem interested in. Six Nymph was there. I've already bought that. Saboteur was on there. Potion Explosion and another one I can't remember now. I could probably find the list if I looked hard enough on my phone. And I forgot all about it because it wasn't available at the time when I was looking at this list. And it fell out of my head. And then when my eyes just pinged straight in on it on the Bring a Buy.
Makes me think of Quacks.
Yeah,
Is it a bit
I've got a
Quacks?
Quacks vibe. For
Yeah,
Quacks with
I think
marbles.
it's a very simplistic game, I believe, but it sounded really cool.
I'll be up for it.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
I'm guessing a game which can be played like Quacks, but without the time of Quacks, because it is deceivingly long.
It is
This
actually,
would be
isn't
good.
it? Yeah. I think you get ingredients for things that roll down. That's where my knowledge starts and ends.
And you probably need certain ingredients. I mean, this is great. We're talking about a game that none of us have played, and we're speculating.
Just from the name.
And the listeners are like, oh my God, no, it's like this.
Well, this will be interesting when we have played it. When we've played it, then we'll be able to say
tell us how we're wrong.
Right or wrong we were,
exactly,
won't we?
yeah.
And I've got a game of Unfathomable coming up, and that's always good.
That's going to be our new segment, is we're going to get a board game name that none of us know. We're going to say it, and then we all try and guess what kind of game it is.
What kind of game it is, and then we look on BGG and go, we were way off.
Or we let the listeners then tell us how we were wrong.
Yeah. To do that anyway.
Yeah.
And that is the end of my last episode. So
Hey.
handing on.
That sounded really bad. Didn't it? Like, we're happy to get rid of you. No, as in
she's gone.
As in, well done, Becky.
Thanks, mate. So I'll be handing the baton. In fact, I'm going to hand it over right now. The baton of the pen to Mr. Kerley.
Take the baton, mate.
He's taken the baton.
This is big news, right?
Yeah.
Kerley, you're becoming a first player for the first time.
Yeah.
How excited are you on a scale of 1 to I'm excited?
Yeah, I don't think he's excited about anything.
He's feeling
today.
like shit.
I feel like absolute rubbish. So ask me tomorrow.
But he has been thinking about it. I know he has because we've chatted about it.
Got some
and I think
episodes coming up.
I think they're going to be good.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to your run of episodes, mate.
Yeah, should be good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
So we're wrapping up. Victory points being totted about everywhere, and it's Terraforming Mars. So Kerley obviously wins in the end. Actually, though, do you know what?
Hey. We're not having that.
We've all had a victory team, haven't we?
We have.
So I think
I've
actually,
had a couple. Even maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, I know that you've had at least one, Becky. You've had at least 2, and Davey's had at least 2 as well.
At least 2.
I've just had
Move
the
on.
other 20 as well.
Moving on.
So we just want to say thanks to you all for listening.
His ego's getting too big in this room. The space.
I've got the antidote.
Yeah.
Tricarion. Move on.
So we just want to thank you all for listening and all the subscribing that you do, and if we can get you to recommend us to a friend who you think might like to listen, that would be really great. We're available on all the normal podcast platforms and all the normal social media platforms, so you can find them all in our episode notes. And with that, I am signing out. Thanks everyone, and whose turn is it?
Kerley's turn.
It's taking ages.